How do dinosaurs fit into the biblical timeline? Most dinosaurs I'm familiar with are too big to fit on any timeline. Oh, you mean how can we reconcile the fact that dinosaurs existed with the biblical account? The answer is we can. You know, I've heard some people claim that dinosaurs never existed. Many people who say that are confused because on the one hand they hear evolutionary scientists talking about dinosaurs living millions of years ago, but yet on the other hand they know the Bible talks about a relatively younger age for the earth. So how can we reconcile dinosaurs, their existence, with the Bible? Dinosaurs really existed, but not millions of years ago as a result of evolution, but really only a few thousands of years ago as a result of creation. It's unfortunate that to many, evolution and dinosaurs really go hand in hand. However, God created dinosaurs. He created every living creature. He created all the creatures in the sea and sky on day 5 of Creation Week, and all land animals, including land dinosaurs, on day 6 of Creation Week. The Bible declares that the earth is less than 10,000 years old, so dinosaurs and human beings lived at approximately the same time. There is evidence, by the way, scientific evidence, that dinosaur fossils are not nearly as old as evolutionary scientists would lead us to believe. First of all, we have a number of examples of organic dinosaur bone that's been found. In other words, the fossils that we find are not always petrified or turned to stone, but there's actual organic material and actual soft tissue there. The existence of organic material argues powerfully that dinosaurs are not millions of years old, but really only perhaps a few thousand years old. In the past several years, there's been some celebrated discoveries of mummified dinosaurs. Dinosaurs that have been so well preserved that we can see their skin and their stomach contents. These discoveries have puzzled evolutionary scientists because they know that something could not exist for millions of years in that state. But to have something mummified and last for a few thousand years is possible scientifically and perfectly consistent with the biblical record. You know, fossils do not take a long time to form. Fossilization really only requires the right characteristics. Something needs to be buried rapidly under a large amount of sediment. A great amount of time isn't necessary, just the right conditions. And interestingly, the right conditions seem a lot like a worldwide flood. Sometimes people ask, why aren't dinosaurs mentioned in the Bible? If God created dinosaurs, why don't I read about them? Well, one thing to realize is the Bible doesn't talk about every creature that God created. The woodchuck that's taken up residence under my porch, I don't think woodchucks are mentioned in the Bible. But on the other hand, some people believe that dinosaurs are indeed mentioned in the Bible. In Job chapter 40, beginning in verse 15, this is God himself speaking. He talks about a creature called Behemoth. God himself identifies this as the foremost land creature. Many people who have read the description, and I encourage you to read the description yourself in Job chapter 40, beginning in verse 15, have concluded that this may well be a sauropod dinosaur, a creature very similar to an apatosaur. It was a creature that Job would have known about. Later, in Job chapter 41, God talks about the Leviathan, the foremost sea creature, a creature so fearsome that the mere sight of it is overpowering. A creature that God says actually breathed fire. Could this be a description of a sea-dwelling dinosaur? The answer is, honestly, I don't know. But there are many people who think that these are great descriptions of dinosaurs recorded in the scriptural text. What you should remember about dinosaurs is dinosaurs are a great example of God's creative power. Rather than thinking about evolution and millions of years of death and destruction, when you think about dinosaurs, be reminded of God's awesome creative acts. God had the power to create the earth's most fearsome creatures. And even more importantly, God in the form of Christ has the power to destroy the most fearsome thing and that's death.